years, and it was just a lot of fun. Okay, so Cooper, I want you to stand up for just a second, all right? Just for perspective, okay? Cooper's in 5th grade. So this is Cooper. This is how old Riley was when I met Riley. Okay, so I want you to think about that for just a second, okay? You can sit down, Cooper. When I met your youth pastor, Riley Webster, he was in 5th grade. That was 16 years ago this week, all right? So 16 years ago this week, Sarah and I moved here, and back then it was called Crossfire, and it was a really crazy thing. I want you to do me a favor for just a second, all right? I want everyone to listen up, look up here, not be messing with your neighbor, all that kind of stuff. This is what I want you to do. For just a second, I want you to not be looking around, not be worried about anything else. This is what I want you to think of for just a second, okay? You don't realize it, but 16 years went like that, okay? Some of you were not even born yet when Sarah and I moved here. I mean, does it not just seems like yesterday, I closed my eyes, we lived in the Lynx apartments. It was crazy. So here's a question I want you to ask, okay? 16 years from now, if nothing in your life changes, okay? If nothing in your life changes, and you keep heading down the same path you're on right now, if you keep making the same decisions you are right now, if you keep hanging out with the same people you are, and let's just get it out of the way, show me your friends and I'll show you your, all right? So if everything stays the same, this is what I want you to ask yourself real quick. 16 years from now, where will you be? Don't say anything. I just want you to think to yourself. 16 years from now, where will you be? Okay, 16 years from now, what will you be doing? All right? Well, Ryan, what do you think? Well, when I look at these chairs, I don't see chairs. When I look at these chairs, we've done it a lot different over the years. Some of the adults remember. I think if there was ever a tornado, the layers of paint on these walls would hold this building together, all right? Some of you adults in here, you remember all the paint. It's probably been, I think, 5 or 6 times that I remember painting this building. But when I stand in here, and when I stand right here, and I look at these chairs, these are the same chairs. These were the chairs that Moses sat in, all right? These chairs have been around forever. Not really. One girl, I just saw a 6th grade girl, she's like, that is so cool. Okay, it was a joke, all right? But when I look at these chairs, I don't see chairs. You know what I remember? I remember faces, okay? I can remember the face of one young man who graduated, got in a fight, and I remember doing his funeral, standing behind his casket, doing his funeral right over here. I remember him sitting in these chairs. I remember Pastor Madison McClure walking in 6th grade, sitting in these chairs, and today she is a pastor here. The other day I had lunch with a young man who I remember sitting in these chairs, and there were some bad decisions that he made, and he and his wife just went through a divorce, and I was sitting there talking to him. He wasn't a 7th grader like he was when I first came, sitting in these chairs, but now he's in his 20s, living out the consequences of decisions that he started making when he was sitting in these chairs. A couple years ago, I stood next to a young man that sat in these chairs in a court, and I addressed a judge because he stopped sitting in these chairs in 9th grade, and he walked away from God, and I had to stand next to him in court in front of a judge because he got drunk and he was driving a car and he killed a lady, and he asked me to speak on his behalf to try to keep him out of prison. That's real life when you walk in and the DA is wanting 15 years in prison. Man, I have so many memories. I did weddings of people who sat in these chairs. I have done funerals of parents of kids who sat in these chairs where you are. I remember Robert